Week 7 of the Great British Sewing Bee and a lingerie theme. I found it very hard to figure out which challenge I was going to do this week. None of them looked easy, so I have gone with the pattern challenge. So I'm making the pyjama blouse. They had 4 hours 15, which is a good amount of time, but there were an awful lot of details. So with the flat piping, the collar, the buttonholes, the cuffs, and they were in slippery fabrics. It was a lot to contend with, and I was very conscious of that time limit whilst I was making this. So I'll let you know at the end of the video how I did on it. It was really good to see Pasha using the button foot. It's a lesser known foot. I don't see them very often, and I use one myself, so it was lovely to have that. Then the transformation challenge, shapewear and lace. I don't even know what to say at this point. I was really disappointed that they put Marcus last. I thought his muscle tee was, yes, completely not one of those things that you traditionally wear, but that's kind of the point of this challenge. And when you consider that these garments don't have zips or near fastenings and aren't finished, to argue that just because he hadn't cut a shape for the armholes, therefore it wasn't a garment to put him last, I just felt was really nitpicky. I wasn't impressed at all with that piece of judging. I have nothing else really to say about that shapewear challenge. It was a strange one. So I shall swiftly move on to discuss this week's made to measure, the bustier dress. So this was really interesting because this is by far one of the most challenging things to get right on the fit. And that became abundantly clear as the challenge went on. So there were two completely different issues at play. Elsa had an issue with the size of the actual rib cage itself on the model. The cups itself were absolutely fine from what I could see, whereas both Luke and Marcus had struggled with the cups. It just seemed to be a lack of understanding of the female form in that sense, which you get and you understand. And after some truly shocking weeks, Susie suddenly pulls it out of the bag with an absolute stunner. I absolutely loved it. I love a bit of colour blocking and all that. I just loved what she created. All in all, though, I was impressed. I thought there was some really good, solid sewing this week. Now, when it comes to garment of the week and who we lose, I always make a prediction and guess. So I write it down whilst they're doing their little final summaries. And I was bang on this week. I thought, based on what I'd seen, it was a really obvious outcome. So as I finish off the buttons and buttonholes on my pattern challenge, I did this in 4 hours and 5 minutes. And that was with a lot of faffing time. So I do think they had plenty of time for this challenge for what they had to do. I tell you what though, I am so thrilled with how this has come out. I'm hoping you agree that I can get away with this for evening wear because it is far too bougie to be a pair of pyjamas.